Welcome to
And
Game.
guys, those text templates are fucking gold.
Yeah, boy.
I had a date last Friday because I used the pizza line, and she goes, "I love pizza. Do you know any good places?"
Because it's New Year, it's like the perfect time to be in the program because I had like this breakthrough thing that I was looking at online, like going through my socials. There's so many girls out there right now that are like, I want to find love this year. I want to flirt more. I want to do this and that. So it was like in my head, I was like, holy shit, they're doing this too. You know what I mean?
Welcome to the Unapologetic Man podcast. The only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it. What is up, you champions? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the UMP. I really do appreciate you. And today, boys, I am going to give you one of the sickest gambits to do with women, typically on the first date, to get her to think that you can actually read her mind. This is such a sick gambit. You guys are going to want to stay tuned for the whole thing, and I would suggest you actually take notes. So what I would recommend is listen to it the first time through, because I know a lot of you guys are driving, working, doing something else, perhaps while you listen to the UMP, and then come back and take notes on this one because it's really, really sick. And I've run this on so many girls and it works really well. And even if you get caught, which surprisingly, a lot of girls actually won't catch you, but if you do get caught, it's still fun. It's still cute. She still thinks it's really charming. And this is a really fun gambit to run, especially on the first date, but you could even do it in the first conversation. I've done it well within just a few minutes of opening a girl, specifically like in a coffee shop situation, a bookstore, or something like that. But also perhaps in the nightclubs, you could run this. I mean, really, it's just a gambit to get a girl attracted to you. Whenever the time strikes that you can actually get this in there is a great time to do it because it's an awesome attraction building gambit. Boys, those two little samples that I put at the beginning of the episode, that was from last night's coaching call. It seems like every single time we have a coaching call, guys say things like that. And it only occurs to me from time to time to actually cut it out and put it into the podcast to give a testament to just how effective this 3-month coaching program is. The dude who was talking about the templates that I give so many templates as to what to write girls, what to text girls, what to message them on the dating apps, what to send them on Instagram, and of course, gambits, which is what this falls into today, how to read a woman's mind. Just gambit after gambit after gambit. I mean, templates, because I want you to never run out of attraction building gambits. And that's one of the frustrating things about following pickup artist coaches is it seems like they give you a lot of theory, but they don't actually tell you what to say, how to say it, when to say it. I try to do that for you guys, and this is such a gambit. So once again, you want to take notes on this, concentrate because it's a little complicated and you really need to get each step down. But I'm sure you guys have the intelligence because it has been reported that podcast listeners are usually some of the most intelligent consumers of content on the internet. Think about that. The fact that you're consuming a podcast, even if you're watching this on YouTube, shows that you are intelligent because you have patience, you want to improve yourself, and you are an absolute legend. And I want you to believe that because once you believe it, women will believe it too. By the way, boys, we have some openings in my 3-month coaching program, which of course those two guys in the beginning of the episode are enrolled in currently. And just like dude said, women want to flirt in 2025. They are ready to date. We are seeing this trend generally with women on the dating apps, on Instagram, and in cold approach. They seem to be a lot more open. They seem to be ready to date. So if you're struggling with your dating life and you want to come work with us, just click the link in the description below, put in your application, and we will talk. All right, boys, let's get into this mind reading gambit. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to assume something about her or know something about her before you even do this gambit. This is why it's best to do it usually on a first or second date. And it's also best to do it with a girl who perhaps you met online or perhaps whose Instagram you have. Let me tell you an example. So let's say that you're looking at her Instagram page and you notice that she plays guitar. Okay, clearly you could see several pictures of her playing guitar. Maybe she's in a band. You just know that she's really into guitar. So you make a mental note of this and you're going to use this piece of information in this game that you're about to play with her. So in some way, you do need to know something about her, and you need to know that she's probably going to answer your question the way that you know she's going to answer your question. So again, if she's playing guitar on her Instagram page, or perhaps there's a bunch of pictures of her snowboarding, or perhaps she's out in the nightclubs a lot dancing, you're going to make a mental note of that, knowing this fact about her. But in this instance, we're going to use the example of the guitar. Okay, so we have that in our heads. Now, this game includes you writing down on a piece of paper certain things that you're going to know about her. So you want to have a pen and a piece of paper. I like to use Post-it notes. And obviously, if you're watching on video, I'm showing that I have pen and a Post-it note here. Here's an interesting fact, boys. See this thing? This is a fountain pen. See my logo right there? When I originally created my logo, it was supposed to look like the tip of a fountain pen. Reason being is I consider myself a communicator, and at one time I was a professional writer, and that's where that logo first started. Even if you're listening on Spotify, you could go to my website and see my logo. It's actually a tip of a fountain pen, which I know some people will find somewhat entertaining. All right, let's get back to the content. Okay, so you're gonna ask her 3 questions, okay? 3 questions, and you're gonna essentially predict what she's gonna say. So the way it works is, you ask her the question, then you pretend to write down what her answer is, and then you ask her what her answer is. So let me go through it. So the first thing you ask is, I want you to pick a day of the week, Monday through Sunday. Just pick a day of the week. Now, when you write down what day of the week she picked, you're actually going to write down guitar. The reason that is you're going to find out is guitar is actually the answer to the 3rd question. So the first question you ask her is, pick a day of the week, Monday through Sunday. Now, before she tells it to you what she picked, you write down again guitar, or perhaps you're going to ask her what her favorite sport is. It's snowboarding, whatever it is. But you know that the 3rd question you're going to ask, you have the answer to. So in this instance, we're going with guitar. And you're actually going to write down guitar when you ask her that first question. Okay, so here it is again. You ask her, I want you to pick a day of the week between Monday and Sunday. Don't tell me what it is. Don't tell me, okay? You look at her and you're kind of like, I know what it is. And you're going to write down guitar. She thinks you're writing down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever it is, but you're actually writing down guitar, which is the 3rd question. Okay, so what you do then is, since you wrote down guitar, you don't show it to her, you take off the piece of paper and you crumble it up, and you put it into a cup. So you're going to have a notepad, a pen, and a cup. Those are the 3 things you need for this. So you're going to put it into the cup. Bam, you put it in the cup. Now that it's in the cup, you ask her to tell you which day of the week she chose. In this instance, as an example, she told you she chose Tuesday. Okay, so you kind of have it in your mind. Okay, the chick chose Tuesday. Now what you're going to ask her is, all right, I want you to pick a day in the calendar year. So any day, probably not your birthday, probably not like January 1st or Christmas, just a day in the calendar year. Say it's like March 2nd or something. So you say, okay, don't tell me, think about it. And you look at her as if you're reading her mind. And what do you think you're going to write down here, boys? Come on, use that head of yours. You got it, bro. You're going to write down Tuesday because she gave you the answer Tuesday to your previous question. But she thinks you're writing down the answer to the current question. Are you starting to see how this works? So you write down Tuesday, and one other tip is kind of guard what you're writing. Whenever I hold the notepad, I kind of hold it in my hand so she can't see what I'm writing. But you're writing down Tuesday, even though supposedly you're writing down what day of the year she's picking. So you write down Tuesday, you take off that piece of paper, you throw it into the cup, and then you ask her, all right, what day of the year did you choose? And she says, March 2nd. You say, okay, cool. Then you say, okay, now I want you to tell me, what is your absolute favorite musical instrument to play? Now this obviously you predicted because you looked at her Instagram page. You know it's going to be guitar. So you say, okay, don't tell me. And then you write down March 2nd, the answer to your second question. You write down March 2nd, you take that off, you fold it up, you put it in the cup, and then you say, okay, what was that? And she says, oh, guitar. Now you have all 3 correct answers in the cup. And because they're arranged in the cup as guitar, Tuesday, and March 2nd, you actually want to take the cup and pour it out onto the desk so they all get rearranged. Then what you're going to do is you're going to open them randomly and be like, all right, let's see this first one. You open it and it says Tuesday. And she's like, what the fuck? How'd you know that? Then you open the second one and it says March 2nd. And she's like, oh my God, how'd you know that? And then you open the third one and it says guitar. It doesn't matter what order you open them in. It's just the fact is you got them all correct. Now, this works on probably 85% of women. Guess who it didn't work on when I tried to run it on her? It was Marissa. She knew exactly what the hell was going on. And I knew that her favorite musical instrument was piano, but she told me trombone because she was fucking with me. And I got that one wrong. She's able to like decipher detective movies within the first episode. It sucks watching movies with this chick because she can decipher it. But if you're good, and specifically, if you cover up your hand while you're writing and you practice this several times, you can really pull this off. I'd say, again, 85% of girls who I've done this to think literally that I could read their mind. Now, why does this build attraction? Well, first of all, she's trying to figure out why you did it. She thinks you're intriguing. It's a fun little gambit. It could take 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm telling you, boys, this kind of stuff spikes attraction. These gambits, these games, these psychological tests, all of which I give my guys in my 3-month coaching program, and probably about 10% I release on this podcast just to show you guys a taste of what it is that I teach my boys. But here's the deal. If you're able to bring content like this to women, if you're able to show that you're more interesting than the other schleps that she's dating, she's going to want to sleep with you. She's going to want to be with you. This is how to keep a girl attracted. You need these games. You need these tests. You need these techniques in order to build her attraction for you, to differentiate yourself from the rest of the sea donkeys who are basically going into interview mode, not entertaining her. So once again, boys, this is how to read a woman's mind. I'm going to go over it again very quickly, just so you can really get it locked down. But if you were listening to this while you were driving, working out, being on that Stairmaster, trying to reduce your chicken McNugget with tits look, then you need to go back through this podcast and review it. But here it is again. All right. First question is, pick a day of the week, Monday through Sunday. Before she gives you your answer, you write down something you know about her. Guitar. Take the piece of paper, crumble it up, put it in the cup. Then you ask her what her answer was. She says Tuesday. You make a mental note of that. Then you ask her the next question. Pick a calendar day in the entire year. Something like July 3rd, June 16th, whatever it is. Then, pretending to write down the answer to that question, you're actually writing down what? Tuesday. You write down Tuesday, you take the piece of paper, you crumble it up, you throw it in the cup, and you say, okay, what was your answer? And she says March 2nd. You say, oh, okay, hopefully I got that one right. We'll see. All right, tell me next. Let's see here. What's your favorite musical instrument? Don't tell me. Then you write down what? March 2nd. Take that piece of paper, crumble it up, throw it into the cup, and then say, okay, what was your answer? And she says guitar. And you say, interesting, with a little smile on your face. Then you pour it out onto the table. You open them up one by one. She's amazed. You're getting a blowjob. You're getting laid. This shit works. Gentlemen, we have a few open spots in the coaching program, like I said. And as you heard in the beginning of this episode, the shit that I give you is fire. It has been proven to work. It is field tested. We have had tens of thousands, if not at this point, hundreds of thousands of testing sequences with all these gambits, with all these templates, with everything I teach in this coaching program. And it's yours if you would just come join us. In addition to all the gambits I give, all the techniques I give, all the gold that I unveil to you when you open my vault coming into the program, I also work on what's going on inside here with NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. I'm the only coach that does a deep dive into inner game as well as systematic techniques that you can memorize and deploy on girls to get them ridiculously attracted to you so that you have sexual choice, which is what I give my guys in my program. All you have to do is apply by clicking the link below, fill in the quick application. The one request that I have is that you reply to all my emails within 24 hours. It's honestly not that big of a request. It's just to show intention. NLP works on intention. So to get you attractive to women, I need to get you in your masculine energy. Executing, pulling the trigger, being a man of action, a man who is showing his subconscious mind that he will get success no matter what. And that starts by being quick on your reply times. And that's exactly why I hold my guys to that deadline. So, gentlemen, once again, apply at the link below. I do appreciate you listening. I drop podcasts on Mondays and Thursdays. I have an awesome one coming up this Thursday, so please stay tuned for that one, and I will see you in the next episode.